Hello, hello. We are almost at the end of the week, and we are so happy that you're here with us in the studio, wherever you are around the world. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Paolo del Rosario. Let's get you up to speed with some music you can use right now.
Hello there, beautiful people. We hope you woke up on the right side of the bed. I'm Anne Asis-Carilo. Let us kickstart this day together with laughter, good vibes, and loads of inspiration.
And I'm Monique Tuzon. Your mornings are always more fun with us. Join us in the next hour and a half for stories and conversations that matter. I'm going to apologize now because we are starting off very violently.
Oh, really?
If you guys are wondering why we aren't matching colors today, Anne and I are wearing rompers because Paolo thinks, I quote, it is the dumbest thing in the world.
So today is Romper Day on It's a Beautiful Day.
Yes, in honor of you.
Because first of all, I don't think people were wondering why we weren't wearing the same color. All right.
We're not in sync today. Violent na calm.
No. And secondly, syempre, I said all of those off the air. So kung maglalabas tayo ng mga sinasabi na that's be said off the air, here on air, do you really want to go there?
Okay, hold on. Let's just get your take on why you're not a fan of rompers.
Huh?
Let's just get your take on why you're not a fan.
Watch Anne reel it back because she knew what she knows what I'd
that
say.
we're wearing pantsuits and
No, let's just have
today.
Paolo explain why you're not a fan of rompers.
I don't think that they're the most practical piece of clothing. But
they're
for
pretty.
girls.
Look,
No, I'm not saying they're not pretty. I'm just saying they're not practical. Kasi syempre naman, we all know that there's a level of tiis ganda minsan, diba? Syempre that you're trying to do. Ako personally, I think that it is impractical na kailangan whenever you need to go to the restroom, to the CR, na maghubad pa kayo just to be able to use the banyo.
But that's our choice.
I know it is your choice, but is it practical? Is it?
It's
Is
beautiful.
it? I know it is, but it's a lot of work just to go to the banyo. And ako, personally, I think that it's not as practical, though it does look good. I'm not saying it doesn't. And it saves you the choice of having to match clothes. But
It does.
It does save you the choice. Pero I also like a girl who could give more effort instead of trying to avoid effort.
It's not avoiding effort. It's just choosing something that's quick to put on, and then it looks fashionable. It looks nice and pretty.
Pero hindi siya practical.
Honestly, I think it's practical because it's easy.
Okay,
you
fair.
don't think about anything. Like I literally
Except when you
just
go to the
woke up-
banyo, right?
Yeah, but that's second nature. Like, you don't have to think about
And
it.
also, and also when you shop for pantsuits and rompers, you only pay for one item, and that's a complete set
so that's
already.
practical.
You don't have to buy like two, like a top and pants, right?
Because typically when you buy two pieces, like the cords, you pay for the top and the bottom.
Expensive.
This is just one.
This is just one
Yeah,
piece.
sure. Go ahead.
So you're spending
Okay,
lesser
so for our
money.
viewers, let us know. Are you guys fans of rompers or jumpsuits?
Look,
Let us know. It's fine if you're not.
It's just really funny that because that was just like my little quirk. We were talking about icks yesterday. We're talking mga things that you think twice about, you think a lot about. Kung sa akin, romper lang yung well, I'm not even saying that it's a red flag. Sinasabi ko lang, I just feel it's a bit impractical. Pero itong si Anne, galit siya sa mga tao na may Velcro wallet. As in, like, kung yung wallet yung may Velcro,
coming out.
Oh my gosh, ayaw ni Anne.
I thought we were gonna save this for Coach B's topipic next week or
Are
something.
we? I don't know. Akala ko na
Anyway,
it doesn't
guys.
matter if I like rompers or not. Pero, and off-air ko yun sinabi,
Where is
diba?
this conversation going? But anyway, guys.
I warned you guys.
Our viewers are so lost right now. Like, what on earth are they talking
Kasi
about?
we're
But
bringing them in
anyway,
the inside jokes, guys. So, again, kung may Velcro wallet kayo, please go message. Or if you had a Velcro wallet in the 90s, pa-message po. Si at a voice talent tita, ba't ka galit sa akin? Anong ginawa ko sa'yo? Alright? Because she is
Naka-private na
attacking
siya.
you.
You can find her on
That is
social
not
media.
But anyway, do join us for the next hour and a half because we got a jam-packed show for you guys today. But first and foremost, let's give them news that you can use. Let us check out the major thoroughfares, the roads and major thoroughfares this Thursday. Here is the situation along Commonwealth Avenue, Microtel in Quezon City on the left side of your screens. our vehicles going to Sandigan Bayan. And on the right side, our vehicles headed to Quezon Memorial Circle. Still a good time to drive. Light traffic on both sides of Commonwealth. Now let's take a look at EDSA Orense this time in Makati. Whoa, on the left side of your screens is the southbound lane going to Pasay. As you can see, we got heavy traffic already on that stretch. Right side is the northbound lane going to Shaw Boulevard, and things are also slowing down on that stretch of EDSA. Please do drive carefully and keep a cool head as you head to your destination this Thursday. Now, the expanded vehicle number coding scheme is in full swing, and it's a Thursday today, so vehicles with license plates ending in 7 and 8 should be off the road right now till 10 a.m. and later from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m.
The Philippine Coast Guard admits disinformation is the greatest challenge in protecting the West Philippine Sea. This comes in the wake of China's new claim over Palawan. Speaking with BNC's On Point, Coast Guard spokesperson for the West Philippine Sea, Commodore J. Cariela, explains this is the reason why the government is intensifying its awareness campaign about the country's territory and China's aggressive acts. Cariela is also hopeful a bill will be approved in Congress to penalize those behind disinformation.
Anything that undermines our position in the West Philippine Sea, particularly about our national interest and national security, should be limited and make them accountable.
How hot will the weather be this Thursday? Paolo gives us today's forecast from Weather HQ. Take it away, Pao Pao.
And so much more, so let's focus over here. The northeast monsoon has returned, but it only impacts the extreme northern Luzon. So this area over here will be impacted by the northeast monsoon. Meanwhile, the easterlies remain the dominant weather system affecting the northern Luzon down to Mindanao. So this entire area right about here affected still by the easterlies. Now, in Batanes, due to the northeast monsoon, you can expect partly cloudy skies with isolated light rain showers with temperatures in Batanes ranging between 20 to 25 degrees Celsius over here. Now, let's go down to Metro Manila and the rest of Luzon and Visayas as well. The easterlies will continue to bring warm and humid weather conditions with chances of isolated rain showers or thunderstorms, especially in the afternoon and the evening. Now, temperatures in Metro Manila will range from around 27 to 33 degrees Celsius, while in Metro Cebu, right about here, you will see temperatures around 26 to 31 degrees Celsius. Now, in Mindanao, the easterlies will cause the moderate to heavy rainfall, which may result in flash floods and landslides. This includes the Zamboanga Peninsula, Basilan, Sulu, and in Tawi-Tawi. So this part here in the western portion of southern Philippines. Now, temperatures in Zamboanga will range from 25 to 32 degrees Celsius, while in Basilan, Sulu, and Tawi-Tawi, highest temperatures will be between 27 to 28 degrees Celsius. Now, with regard to the sea conditions, a gale warning has been issued for the extreme northern part of Luzon. So maritime activities are suspended in the seaboards of Batanes due to the expected rough to very rough sea conditions. Now, for the rest of the country, fishermen and sailors can continue their activities but must remain alert for any potential weather changes. Now, Pag-asa's latest forecast shows the following areas experiencing the highest heat indices today. Under the danger zone, is San Jose, Mindoro, with a heat index of 42 degrees Celsius. Now, this feels like temperature can cause heat exhaustion and cramps, as well as a heat stroke possibility from extended exposure. So it is vital to stay inside and keep hydrated. Meanwhile, areas in extreme caution with 41 degrees Celsius heat index include Iba, Zambales, San Ildefonso, Bulacan, Sangley Point, Cavite, Ambulong, Tanawan, Batangas, Cuyo, Palawan, Verac, Catanduanes, and Catbalogan in western Samar. Now, also, the locations with a 40 degrees Celsius heat index include Metro Manila, Dagupan, Pangasinan, Etiague, Isabela, Subic Bay, Olongapo, Coron, and Puerto Princesa, Palawan. Masbate City, Capiz Rizal, Iloilo City, La Granja, Negros Occidental, Tacloban, Leyte, and Cotabato City. Now, exposure to this temperature for extended periods can result in heat cramps and exhaustion, as per usual. So if you plan to go out, be sure you stay hydrated, wear light clothing, and limit your time in the heat as much as possible. Back to you, girls.
The Commission on Elections assures security and transparency of the upcoming elections. COMELEC Chairman George Garcia says all of the actions and steps taken by the agency are documented. That includes the manufacturing of automated counting machines where the citizens' arm and the media watched. COMELEC is also confident the ACMs are 100% reliable and that complaints are welcomed through filling out a challenge form, which could be a basis of an election protest. But the Commission also warns against complaints that may involve disinformation.
Pero ang problem po kasi natin is how do you fight disinformation, misinformation, and fake news? Okay lang po, sabihin natin incompetent kasi mga taga-COMELEC. Wala po tayong problema doon. Hindi po debatable yon. Baka nga tanggapin pa namin yon. Pero pag sinabi po natin na yung machine ay nakakonect sa internet, teka po muna, mukhang hindi po tamang kritisismo yon. Kasi mukhang fake news po yun or misinformation. Kasi kahit po yung mga experts natin, mag-a-agree, hindi po siya nakakonect. Kahit po si Sir, ay mag-a-agree, hindi po siya nakakonect sa internet. Eh, paano po yung lawyer po siya eh? Accountant nang galing sa, sabi niya, number 1 na accounting firm sa buong mundo. Tapos expert sa IT. Paano nakakonect po sa internet? Hindi po ba something is wrong with that?
Veteran actress Nora Honor is withdrawing from the party list race. The national artist for film and broadcast says she will instead support the group, Kabayan, and Honor was supposed to be the second nominee of the new People's Champ Guardians party list. The Kabayan group says it is grateful for the superstar's support.
The Department of Public Works and Highways says the result of the initial investigation on the collapse of a bridge in Isabela has already been submitted. DPWH Secretary Manuel Banoan tells BNC's agenda the overloaded trucks may have caused the stress on the bridge. This despite signboards on both ends of the bridge saying only light vehicles can use it. He adds no confirmatory loading test was also done on the bridge.
Initial conclusion that we are looking at now is actually because of the passage of the heavily loaded trucks which na-overstress yung some of the segments of the bridge by more than 200%. Kasi yung mga trucks that passed by in convoy actually we're weighing actually ang estimated namin is actually about more than 100 tons, no? When in fact dapat lang ang permissible weight na designed for that is actually about 44 tons.
Authorities have found the wreckage of the FA-50 jet fighter of the Philippine Air Force that earlier went missing in Cebu. 2 pilots died after the aircraft crashed in Mount Calatungan, Barangay Mirayon, Talakay, Bukidnon. Because of this incident, all the 11 remaining FA-50 are grounded to give way to the investigation. However, the Air Force says the air assets will continue to participate in the scheduled maritime exercises. The Armed Forces of the Philippines has yet to name the fatalities, but the Police Community Affairs and Development Unit in Region 10 already extended their sympathies to the bereaved families of Major Salangoy and First Lieutenant A.J. Dadulia, who was set to get married 2 weeks from now.
The country's inflation slowed down in February this year. The Philippine Statistics Authority says that from 2.9% in January, it settled to 2.1%. 3 sectors, food and beverage, housing and electricity, as well as transportation, helped manage inflation. In particular, rice prices continue to go down, now ranging from 48 to 64 pesos per kilo.
It may further slow down or maintain its negative inflation if magiging, kasi di ba may plan ang DA to further reduce yung maximum suggested retail price of imported rice. If that will happen, that would affect yung ating, it may affect, no? It may affect our inflation for rice next month. And also, yung sinasabi ng DA na expand yung coverage or yung access ng Kadiwa rice next month sa malls, sa supermarkets.
Supreme Court Associate Justice Antonio Co calls for the return of PhilHealth's 60 billion peso excess funds earlier remitted to the National Treasury. In today's oral arguments on petitions questioning the transfer of funds, Co also said it may be high time to overhaul the PhilHealth board for not following the law. He explains PhilHealth's excess funds should remain in the agency to increase the benefits of its members.
So in that case, maybe PhilHealth can already request the President to return the money, the 60 billion that were transmitted to PhilHealth, to the government for anchor program funds. Ibalik na yan sa PhilHealth, and PhilHealth to expand its benefits, hire more people to answer for the health of our people.
Health Assistant Secretary Albert Domingo assures the High Court benefits of PhilHealth members are secure under the National Health Insurance Act. The next oral argument is set on April 29.
Now, the summer season has yet to begin, but the sizzling conditions right now pose risks to everyone as they find ways to stay cool. Now, to talk about the impact of the heat index on our own health, as well as illnesses like dengue and some others we're monitoring, Health Assistant Secretary Albert Domingo now joins us live in the studio. It's a beautiful day, and welcome back, Albert, the fourth host, I believe, of the show.
It's indeed a hot, beautiful day, Paolo, Anne, and Monique. Good morning to everyone, and thank you for having me again here.
All right, so let's focus on the heat indices here because
Yes.
we've been doing the weather here for quite some time, and the heat indices have been soaring. Again, yung kapag heat index, it's the temperature, the feels like temperature, the
Yes.
temperature we all as people experience. It's different from the temperature without the humidity and all
Correct.
of that. And when we take a look at the soaring numbers here when it comes to heat indices, are we seeing a rise of heat-related afflictions, in particular in those locations with high heat indices?
Indeed, Paolo, the heat is on. I've been always wanting to say that. The heat is on, and in Tagalog, it's damang init. We
Yeah.
have to distinguish between the absolute temperature. When Pag-asa says it's the heat index, it's the feeling on our skin. And yes, the numbers are going high, but to assure our public, there are 4 levels. There is caution, extreme caution, danger, then extreme danger. There are cutoffs. In particular, the effects can be correlated to 3 heat-related illnesses, in Tagalog, sakit ng init. If you reach already extreme caution, we are at more risk of the first one, which is heat cramps, which means your muscles can go cramping because you get dehydrated, you lose electrolytes. And then if you go to danger, you are at risk, we are all at risk now for heat exhaustion or pagkahapo in Tagalog. You might lose consciousness or feel tired. And then the third one, the most extreme, is the extreme danger. Then you can already have what you call heat stroke. Heat stroke, you lose consciousness. You can sometimes get disoriented because you basically are drying up, so to speak.
So, Doc Albert, what are the measures that the DOH is carrying out, to mitigate the health risks associated with such extreme heat conditions?
So first off, there's an information campaign. Along with the initial declaration of Pag-asa, they haven't actually even declared the summer. So officially, it's not yet summer according to Pag-asa, but the heat is already starting to go up.
Okay.
So the information we have to give out to our public, tips like cooling off, going to the shade, avoiding the sun from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., being very mindful of reflected heat, especially here in the city where there's a lot of concrete.
Yeah.
You may be in the shade, but if you're walking alongside EDSA or a big road, the heat coming from the concrete or the asphalt is still puts you at risk of the heat illnesses. And we also have a coordination with local governments to set up cooling stations. This is not a new structure. It can be as simple as coordinating with a local mall And from our understanding, the malls love this because people are encouraged to go there, right?
Yeah.
And I think that is a form of public service. You should have large open spaces that are well ventilated for those structures, air conditioned. Some barangays even have, I remember from previous years, they would have synchronized movie shows for their senior citizens.
Okay.
So exactly. So for those who are extremely at risk, especially the aged, the infirm, in areas where not everyone's air conditioning, the barangay hall might be air conditioned, and you could actually have schedules from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. so that they can cool off.
Now, Doc Albert, I want to move on from the heat to another prominent virus that's happening right now that I don't think people are really talking about, the hand, foot, and mouth disease. I
Yes.
know the DOH reported that close to 7,600 cases from January 1 to February 22, just this year. That's 3 times higher than the same period last year. What is the reason why it's going up right now, and how can people spot that?
So hand, foot, and mouth disease is caused by the Coxsackie-A virus. It is a self-limiting disease. It only takes around 7 to 10 days. The fatality rate is very low. In fact, in 2024, there were only, if I'm not mistaken, 2 fatalities. Every life is precious. We don't want people to die. But in public health, having very low fatalities is a good sign to look for. So having said that, what are the symptoms? That's why it's called hand, foot, and mouth disease. There will be small blisters around the hands, feet, and the mouth. And also sometimes at the hind area. So you could have that. You can have fever. Some will have other symptoms, sometimes headache or body ache. But most importantly, it's the rashes that are prominent. And to avoid it, we have to have personal hygiene. Don't come into close contact. Wash your hands frequently, at least 20 seconds. For those who are mostly affected, the young kids, the schools have been suspending face-to-face classes because you simply have to pause physical interaction, allow for the facilities to be decontaminated, cleaned, so to speak, and then you can resume after 1 week.
Yeah, it feels like the classes are being suspended either because of the heat index or because of the hand, foot, and mouth disease. The majority of the cases have been in Metro Manila and have been in Southern Luzon. Has there been any intervention from the DOH to try and mitigate this? I know the fatality rate is not high, and that it's not necessarily a disease that would cause panic, but still, are there any measures from the DOH?
So as we mentioned, we are coordinating with the schools through the Department of Education. We are coordinating with barangays through the Department of Interior and local government. But essentially, to break transmission, it's all about personal hygiene, which means information on what to do is also important. So wash your hands for 20 seconds. It's important. You sing the happy birthday song, right? Of course, don't sing it very slow or very fast. There are different versions. Just sing it for 20 seconds and then you're done. If you can't wash your hands, your mobile or where there's no water or soap, then use your hand sanitizers. That's also equally efficient and equivalent.
You know, I already had hand, foot, and mouth disease, so I know how terrible it is when you have it. Like your hands get super itchy, and you can't sleep talaga. So it's good that you were able to give out these tips to the parents and the schools that are watching us. You know how to prevent the spread of this virus. Now let's talk about the last time you were here. We talked about the dengue cases, right?
Yes.
So as of February 1st, the DOH has reported over 28,000 dengue cases. That's a 40% increase already compared to last year. So what strategies is the Department of Health employing to address this rise in dengue cases?
So earlier this, was it this week or last week? I forget now, but there was a relaunch of the 4 o'clock habit, which we now call alas 4 contra mosquito. It's a very pointed message that at a regular time each day, we have to counter the vector that spreads dengue, and those are the mosquitoes.
Right.
So what do we do? In Tagalog, taob, taktak, tuyo, takip. Sounds like a TikTok song.
Yeah, Papa-English daw para
I really don't know any of those mean.
Okay, so let's explain. So,
Thank you so much.
so taob, turn it over, because you're talking of the receptacles where the water can collect. Taob. Tak-tak, this is hard to translate. What is
It
tak-tak?
sounds like TikTok.
TikTok is when you
Try to get the
When you
water
tap-
off.
when you tap
something.
it or you disturb the water.
Yes, you
Sounds.
tap
Settle the water.
containers.
Yeah.
Tap containers
Tap,
so that
tap.
the
Tap, tap,
residual water will tap, tap, tap.
Yeah.
So it's tak-tak, not tap-tap. But
Yeah,
for
yeah,
Mo, it
yeah,
might be
yeah.
tap-tap. So taob, tak-tak, tuyo, takip first. Tuyo, okay, tuyo is to dry.
To dry, yeah.
And then takip is to cover. Because sometimes, especially we're heading into the hot season, people will say, okay, the rains are abating, so therefore we will have no longer dengue problems hanging around. But the thing is, during the dry season, people collect water.
Yeah.
So be sure to please cover whatever pails, whatever receptacles you have, so that mosquitoes will not lay eggs into those stores of water.
All right, do you understand, Mo?
I know, I appreciate it. Thank you, Doc Albert, for having to translate that. This is probably the first time you had to do it on air.
Yeah, of course, we are mentioning or monitoring the numbers here. And again, this is a bit off-season, yung
Yes.
dengue. Has the rate of increase slowed as the information dissemination campaign has started at the early part of the year?
So it's Thursday today. Anytime today or tomorrow, the update for the latest data will come in. But as of February 22, we did register a 7% decrease on a week-by-week basis.
Yeah.
We're hoping to keep the trend that way. And to keep that trend that way, we have to keep reminding our citizens, our kababayans, that we don't just do this just because there's an alert or just because it's in the news, and then we forget it after there's a new disease that comes our
Yeah.
way. So keep doing it. Alas 4 kontra mosquito, taob, tak-tak, tuyo, takip.
All
Thank
right.
you, Doc. I got all of that.
Yeah.
You know,
We're gonna have a quiz later, Mo. Okay? If you could explain it all.
Wait, before we let Doc Albert go, I have this question that I wanted to ask the last time he was here. Because the mga lola natin, di ba, our mga tita, lola, they would say the dengue mosquitoes, they come out daw in the morning and sa late afternoon.
Dusk and
Is
dawn,
this true?
Yes, yes. So that's a good question. There are, shall I say, 4 kinds of mosquitoes going around. There's your Aedes, there are 2, Aedes aegypti, Aedes albopictus. They are the ones that carry dengue.
Okay.
And they do bite around 6 to 9 in the morning and 3 to 6 in the afternoon.
So, totoo nga. There's
Para
a
silang color
time.
coding.
Oo.
Meron silang oras.
And I've always wondered, so what do they do in between?
They're sleeping.
That's a good question.
Nap sila.
Off-duty sila.
Hindi sila nagtatago sa ayaw mahuli ng coding.
I don't even know if that's a valid question, but I really wondered, like, okay, so if this is their schedule of biting, what happens? Like,
So
in
wait, let me
between?
continue. There are
Okay.
2 other kinds of mosquitoes. The Culex mosquito, they don't have much diseases, but there's another one, the what they call this, the Anopheles mosquito. That
Okay.
one brings malaria. So it's not everywhere. It's only in particular areas of the country, and they bite at night. Oh, may schedule rin sila. Nocturnal sila.
Hilarious. You get
Night
that at
duty.
night.
So don't go about timing like what time is it? I have malaria because it's in the just wear long sleeves.
Right,
And this is
right.
the challenge. It's getting hot now, so you can still wear long sleeves. Just make sure that the clothes are light.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wag naman yung jacket na sobrang kapal.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
make sure it's like a
Breathable-
light, breathable. And the
fabric.
colors should be light colored.
Okay.
Because dark colors, like what Paolo is wearing now, will attract mosquitoes.
Wait, maghubad na ako Wait lang.
Take it off.
Oo, pero no, pero of course when we're talking about all of that, you mentioned it a while ago, so may konting schedule, pero when you see them, syempre walang no contact apprehension, apprehend mo talaga.
Yes.
But what advice do you have for those now knowing that may schedule sila? Does that affect the way that we have to really
Schedule
fix the
things
environment
like,
and of
And
course
a follow-up question to what Paolo's saying is just like the mosquito repellent, like the normal one. Is that okay
Yes.
with all variants?
Yes, that's okay with all the 4 species of mosquito. And the practical question from Paolo, if you're using Katol or the electric mosquito repellents, remember those are consumables. So you might want to plug them in or light them up around those times. Because if you light up or you plug in around 11 a.m., that's not the usual time when these mosquitoes bite.
Okay.
So you want, and you're going to run out of Katol, run out of the electric repellents. So make sure that you, and even the lotions, by the way, they're not forever. Wala talagang forever. May hubad. So the
Join us for love hacks.
Yes.
Albert, next
So the
time.
lotions have to be applied around those times so that you can maximize their effect.
Okay.
tanggal yung cardigan ko. Ayun, tukutusin ako.
Well, I am so
Paolo's
glad I
making
asked that
bad.
question. It was really on my mind na the last time you were here when we talked about dengue. Like, kasi my lola would always say that talaga, yung mga lamok ng morning and late afternoon, yun yung may
Yeah.
dala ng dengue.
Pero malamig naman. I mean,
Well, while Paolo's making hubad over there, thank you again to our
Thank
fourth
you,
host,
Doc
Doc
Albert.
Albert Domingo, for coming. It's a pleasure having you, and we'll see you probably Love Hacks, because may hugot ka. So we can talk about that next time.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Doc
much,
Albert.
Doc Albert. Thank you so much. He's the Health Assistant Secretary, Doc Albert Domingo.
Don't go away, because we've got more stories for you after the break. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back. Keep it here on BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel. Welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. Now we got some world news. The Pope's health remained in the prayers of the faithful during the Mass on Ash Wednesday yesterday in Rome's Santa Sabina Church.
The homily of Pope Francis. We feel deeply united to him in this moment, and we thank him for the offering of his prayer and his sufferings for the good of the whole Church and the whole world. The holy ashes tonight will be scattered on our heads. These revive in us the memory of what we are, but also the hope of what we will be.
The same goes in Buenos Aires, where Argentines prayed for the Pope's recovery as they have long waited for him to visit the homeland since he had left in 2013 to head to the Roman Catholic Church. Pope Francis was admitted to the hospital on February 14 after being diagnosed with double pneumonia.
Volodymyr Zelensky seeking clarification on the U.S. military aid pause. The Ukrainian president has ordered his defense minister and other officials to hold talks with their American counterparts. He says maintaining a normal partnership with the U.S. is crucial for truly ending Ukraine's war with Russia. Zelensky also expresses regrets over last week's public spat with U.S. President Trump at the Oval Office.
Ukraine and America deserve a respectful dialogue and a clear stance from each other, especially when it comes to protecting lives during a full-scale war. Ukraine will always be grateful to the United States for all the support it has provided and continues to provide, support that helps uphold Europe's already fragile security. This is not just about our country, it concerns all of Europe.
Now we get updates from the U.S. on these stories. President Donald Trump outlined his priorities in a speech to Congress yesterday, which was met with opposition from Democratic lawmakers. And an AI-enabled assistant aims to help parents at bedtime for their children. Voice of America's Chris Casquejo now joins us with the details, reporting live from Washington, D.C. Hi, Chris. Always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Good to be with you.
So, Chris, President Trump's first congressional address of his second term laid out all the policy priorities for 2025. What were the key themes of his speech, and how do they reflect his administration's broader strategy moving forward?
U.S. President Donald Trump spoke for an hour and 39 minutes, making it the longest address from a president to a joint session of Congress ever. He said his administration has accomplished more in 43 days than most administrations accomplished in 4 or 8 years. To date, Trump has signed nearly 80 executive orders, several of which are being challenged in court. Immigration was a main theme. Early in his speech, Trump touted his declaration of a national emergency on the U.S.-Mexico border and the deployment of U.S. military and Border Patrol to, in his words, repel the invasion of our country. Trump said his administration has launched the most sweeping border and immigration crackdown in American history, and he also took aim at his predecessor, former President Joe Biden, calling him the worst president in American history. Trump also defended his sweeping reductions of the size of the federal bureaucracy, led by the richest man in the world, Elon Musk, whose Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, has been behind the layoffs of tens of thousands of government workers and other cuts throughout the federal government. But more broadly, it was a speech that was very much like a campaign speech. And Trump, he seems to be sending the message that, he's going to do these things, try to stop me.
Well, Grits, you take a look at we were taking a look at the reactions. We're taking a look at the divide in Congress. We've seen several Democratic lawmakers boycotting the speech entirely, and some even walked out during the speech and caused a disturbance early on. Just looking at the optics here, and of course how it will affect the legislative process in the United States. How deep is the current political divide in Washington, and how can this affect the administration's ability to push through with all of its policies, especially through Congress?
Yeah, it really was on display for all the world to see last night. It was like the president was giving a speech to two different audiences, very receptive audience of Republicans and a very dismissive audience of Democrats. Just a few minutes into his address, Trump was interrupted by jeering from the floor of the House, prompting Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson to direct the Sergeant at Arms to remove Democratic Representative Al Green of Texas. He shouted that Trump did not have a mandate before he was escorted out of the chambers. Trump continued his address after Green was removed, and some Democratic lawmakers actually walked out in the middle of Trump's address. Others skipped the speech entirely. Now, in the Democratic response to Trump's address, Michigan Senator Elissa Slotkin, who's very new to the job, she's serving her first term, she called for voters to get more involved with politics. She said it's easy to be exhausted, but America needs you now more than ever. If previous generations had not fought for this democracy, where would we be today, she asked. Now, political rhetoric is going to meet head-on with political reality in just a few days here. A March 14th budget deadline looms to avoid a partial government shutdown. Democrats have vowed to fight Republicans' proposed deep cuts to Medicare and Medicaid, government-funded health insurance programs for the elderly and poor. Now, with tight margins in the lower chamber, the House, the budget battle could get tough. The U.S. House of Representatives now has 218 Republicans and 214 Democrats, with 3 vacancies. And traditionally in these budget negotiations, some Democrats or Republicans had to cross the aisle depending on which party was in power. So that's the battle we're going to be watching in the next few days.
Now, finally, Chris, turning to a toy industry trade show that just wrapped up this week there in New York City. This interests me, because I'm a mom, and anything to get my kid to go to bed early and sleep early, take my money, I'll get it. Now, what can you tell us about this AI-enabled toy that could help children at bedtime?
It's called Storable, and let's just take a look at how it works.
Pretty close to getting to bed. You should potty before getting all tucked in.
So cute.
It's an AI-powered companion that persuades children to go to bed and not bother their parents. A Storable exec says he's tested the device on his grandson, and that's why he decided to market it. But don't worry, Nanay and Tatay are still in charge. They control the electronic nanny via a mobile app. And let me tell you, it's a lot more high-tech than the way my parents used to get me to sleep, which was putting me in the car, sitting me in between them on the bench seat, and playing The Carpenters on an 8-track, which should give you a clue of how old I really am.
What's an 8-track, Chris?
Super.
It's a precursor to the CDs. and MP3s and cassette tapes.
I feel ya, Chris. I know what you're talking about. But you know how the Filipino way of putting kids to sleep? Your moms or your titas or your lolas will put the chinelas right in front of you, right? The
that's
slipper.
really?
What?
To threaten you to sleep.
I've never had
right,
that
Chris?
happen.
Chris gets this.
I don't know if he does.
Yeah.
Chris doesn't know.
Oh, no, my Lola did that. My
Yeah,
Lola
see?
did that
Yeah, it was
for
like
a
that
couple
back
of
in the
years
day.
when I was young.
Oh, I never had that. Well,
May chinelas. Yeah.
grabe. Well, anyway, Chris, Paolo needs a helping hand.
Oh,
We just
wow.
want to ask you one more question before we let you go. What are your thoughts on rompers and jumpsuits on women?
On women? Oh, they're fine on women. I thought you were going to ask me how they looked on men, which, if that's your thing, that's your thing. But I personally wouldn't wear one. But yeah, I think they're fine on women.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chris.
I'm just
We
saying-
love Chris.
I'm just saying they're fine on women. I didn't say that they're not.
Thoughts on the practicality of rompers?
Practicality, they don't look that comfortable to me. That's why I don't think that men should wear them.
No, I agree with that. Chris, my only point to these two is that I find it not practical that whenever they go to the restroom, whenever they go to the toilet, they have to take everything off just to use it. And they're holding their dress. They're holding their outfit in their hands as they are on as they do their business. And I think that's not as practical.
It actually takes some major skills to do that.
Exactly.
To take care.
Exactly.
We've
But we're
perfected
used to
it,
it,
so it's
yeah.
okay. I'm
No,
used
Chris,
to it.
this has been an ongoing debate that's gone off
Thank
air.
you, Chris.
And to do so much so that they decided to stop any color coordination today and just wear rompers
Yes.
just to get
to
at
prove
me.
a point.
Well, I'm wearing blue, so I kind of match you.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I know. I got you.
kinda match.
We're all right. We're all right, Chris. You know what? One time, let's wear jumpsuits together.
I'll be right behind you.
Well, thank you so much, Chris, for all the fun that you bring to our show. Voice of America correspondent, Chris Casquejo.
Good to be with you.
Now moving on to sports, LeBron James stands alone as he makes NBA history yet again. LBJ is the first ever player to score 50,000 career points. Second on the all-time list is Lakers legend Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with 44,149 points. The 40-year-old superstar reached this historic achievement in the Lakers' win over the New Orleans Pelicans on Wednesday, Philippine time. While here at home, the TNT Tropang Giga are closing in on the finals of PBA Commissioner's Cup. The Tropang Giga bounces back by taking down the Rain and Shine Elastic Painters on Wednesday at the Smart Araneta Coliseum, 93-85. Best player of the game, Calvin Oftana, led the Tropang Giga with 26 points. TNT remains on top in this semi-showdown, 3-1. Now, in the first game, it ain't over till it's over for the Northport Batang Pier as they keep their semis campaign alive by defeating Barangay Ginebra San Miguel 108-103. Best player of the game, Arvin Tolentino, filled the stat sheets with a near triple-double, 20 points, 9 rebounds, and 11 assists. Ginebra still remains in the lead, though. The series is at 3-1 in the semis. Now from the hard court to the Taraflex, make it 4 in a row for the UST Golden Tigresses in UAAP Season 87. The girls from España took down the UP Fighting Maroons in 4 sets on Wednesday at the Mall of Asia Arena. Regina Jurado and Angge Poyos combined for a total of 42 points for the UST Golden Tigresses. And the Tigresses are second in the standings with 4 wins and only 1 loss. In the first game, the FEU Lady Tamaraws cruised past the UE Lady Warriors in straight sets. Jerzel Petalio led the Moraita Bay squad with 12 points. FEU is on a 2-game win streak. They are third in the standings with 3-2.
Now, pageant fans, listen up because the search is on for the new Binibining Pilipinas. The organization announced that it is now accepting applicants for this year's showcase. The deadline is on March 21st. Last year, Mirna Esguerra from Abra was crowned Binibining Pilipinas International, while Pampanga's Jasmine Bungay was named Binibining Pilipinas Globe. Now from the pageant stage to the runway, designer Stella McCartney showcased a feminine lineup of power suits at Paris Fashion Week. McCartney's take on power dressing took center stage in front of a star-studded audience, which includes French First Lady Brigitte Macron, Hollywood icon Cameron Diaz and movie producer Tom Ford. The sustainable style icon says she sought to relay her label's day to night designs for her first show as an independent designer.
Now, up next, beauty trends come and go, but some think this one trend here is here to stay. The clean beauty movement urges consumers to choose products that are not harmful to health and the environment. But does one know which is which? Filipina skincare CEO Stephanie Oller joins us later on the show to break it down for us. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. Now, a new movement disrupted the beauty industry the past few years. Clean beauty topped the list of holy grails for women who prefer natural, non-toxic ingredients. But what really is clean beauty, and how do you know whether your skincare is really clean? Pure Culture co-founder and CEO Stephanie Oller joins us live today. Stephanie, good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
You know, a lot of women now choose to use beauty products that are all natural, organic, right? Clean beauty. Now, for the sake of our viewers, what exactly is clean beauty?
So, in a quicker definition, clean beauty is when it's free from chemicals that are bad for your bloodstream and your system and bad for your immunology, basically. But in layman's words, within your skin is what you call a microbiome. So it's like a forest. It has trillions of microbes in it, and they fight for survival every day, and that has to be in balance. So imagine that forest having like big trees, leaves, flowering plants, fruits, worms, predators, preys, frogs, birds, everything. These microbes have to be living in balance so you don't get breakouts, so you don't get dry patches, so you don't get eczema flares. But every time that there's it's called dysbiosis, or there's a disbalance in that ecosystem within your skin, that's when you start seeing skin issues. You get pimples that never go away, you get dry skin, patches that never go away, and then you start using products, right?
Yes.
Most of the products in the market, if you read the labels, they have microplastics, they have petrochemical derivatives, they contain sulfates or silicones or silica wax, which is typically used for candles, and you put it on your skin. And so more than 60% of what you put on your skin is absorbed into your bloodstream.
Yes.
And so that affects and nukes basically almost all the microbes within your microbiome. So no one's left there to defend it from, fungi, bacteria, causing germs, causing infections and stuff like that.
We mentioned that this is a disruption of the industry, but here in the Philippines, there's not a lot of clean beauty here. You mentioned a percentage a while ago. I know this is a rough estimate of how much you feel there are clean beauty products within the Philippines. Just what levels are we at?
The Philippines is at its infancy stage when it comes to the idea and the concept of clean beauty. Majority of the products, the skincare space here is huge.
Yes.
And everyone wants to be pretty, right? And like pimple free.
Yeah.
But then people are not yet very informed about what they should be looking for and what they should be taking out of what they put in their skins and even what they bring to their homes, right? So in the Philippines, majority of the high-performance clean skincare options we get are imported ones. And so they're very expensive and they're designed for white men's skin, Japanese skin, Korean skin. But Filipinos have huge pores because it's humid here. We live in a tropical country, so the climate is different, our pore sizes. 8 out of 10 Filipinos have acne or oily acne-prone or oily skin because of the climate, right? And so when you start doing that 10-step Korean skincare, I'm sure each of us or most of us have tried it.
Yeah.
Parang after 5 minutes, you're so greasy when you go
it's a
up.
lot.
Yeah.
I think I broke out more when I tried that because I was
Yes.
putting product after product after product.
Yeah. So clean beauty exactly starts with that. You don't need to use a lot of products. The goal is for you to just wear your bare skin and keep it at its glowing even if you don't use your foundation, because from the inside your microbiome is balanced. And it's not easy to achieve that because a lot of the products in the Philippines utilize ingredients that are commercially produced, so they're priced cheaper. You know, like ethanol, alcohol nukes everything in your microbiome. It kills everything.
I mean, I want to piggyback on what you said earlier. It's kind of scary that most of the products that we use have microplastics and all those other bad things that our skin is absorbing. So when we're looking for beauty products, is there a certain type of label that we need to watch out for to know if it's a clean beauty product?
Okay, so there's this joke in the cancer community because a clean beauty product has to be safe even for those with chronic diseases like cancer. So we work at Pure Culture, we work with cancer patients. So we're very safe even for chemo patients. It's funny because there's a joke when it's very difficult to pronounce and remember, it's a toxic ingredient.
Yeah.
Which is actually true.
And that goes with food as well.
Food as well.
Yes, correct. So, in our website, if people would visit purecultureph.com, they can download the free ebook. It's called Heck No Checklist. It is actually a glossary of everything toxic. A glossary of ingredients that's not good.
Oh, there it is. We're showing it on the screen.
Yeah,
Yes,
you see,
it's on the screen.
if you can tell all of us what it all means, you're either a scientist or you're lying.
Yes. So you see the joke amongst the cancer patients when it's difficult to pronounce and remember, it most probably is. So in summary, sulfates, or if we can avoid that, let's avoid it. Silicones and silica wax, they actually clog your pores, so you break out more. And it's what, as I've mentioned, it's what they use on candles. So you know those mattifying finish products that feel so good.
Primers.
It feels so good because it has like wax. Like a candle.
And we're putting that on our face.
Yes. If you love eyeliners, mascaras, there's one here that's called Carbon Black. And I cannot forget because it's very easy to pronounce.
But still bad for you.
And
It's a petrochemical derivative. It's from charcoal. It's
Yeah.
very carcinogenic.
Oh my God.
It actually sounds like something that's used for machines.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
When you,
For cars.
or for cars.
I just looked at it all again, and I'm like, that is a lot. And of course, when it comes to, you mentioned the Philippines have bigger pores, pore shame. But when you look at the things that are the better options here, when you talk about clean beauty, like what are they typically made of that substitute all of that is healthier for Filipinos and anyone in general?
So it's good. This one, I highly recommend that people print it and then you start reading labels. You can have it in your vanity. It's a little checklist, right? But when it comes to ingredients that are good for you, I can speak about the ones that we formulate and the ones that we manufacture. So coming from our product lines, it's ingredients of natural origin. We like using ferment. It's a postbiotic. So it's like, it's a probiotic, ferment, prebiotic. So basically, we utilize postbiotics in our products. And imagine kimchi, you put it on your skin, something like that in layman's words. We also utilize biotechnology, so we don't have to use, let's say, one of our products that's very, very good for skin regeneration and minimizing fine lines is Bulgarian rose water. So Bulgarian roses, we harvest them from Bulgaria because it's the most potent and the most effective. And we utilize biotechnology to scale that. So biotechnology allows these amazing ingredients from nature to be mimicked in a scientific lab, so we don't have to use up all the Bulgarian rose petals in the world, you know?
I'm excited to try that though. That
Yeah,
sounds
me too.
amazing.
Yeah. So, what's tricky when it comes to organic and natural skincare is that typically shelf life is an issue.
Yeah,
I was just about to
right?
ask.
Yeah,
yes.
and also performance is always questionable.
That's true.
Some people would say they tried it, they didn't get an allergy attack, but they didn't really see any difference. So when now science comes in and technology comes in the form of biotechnology, that's when the best of both worlds come together, and that's when a skincare product becomes very high performance. When it's a high performance product, you typically see results in as fast as 3 weeks.
So you mentioned shelf life. Since these products use natural ingredients,
Yes.
right? Does that have a downside on its shelf life? And how long do the products usually last?
Well, shelf life-wise, not necessarily, unless it has probiotics, which are of live microorganisms
Right.
that has to be refrigerated. That's why some very advanced skincare users in the West, they have fridges, right, in their vanities,
Yes,
and they
yes.
do like those drops. So we don't do that at Pure. Our shelf life is 3 years,
Okay.
and that's where the power of science comes into the picture.
You know, a lot of people are into sustainability now, are into
Yes.
trying to be clean and green, but then
Yes.
sometimes there is the susceptibility to greenwashing,
Yeah.
you know, pretending to be
Yeah.
clean and all of that. Are there any signs to watch out for, or any things that are, or anything, so when you take a look at the ingredients, okay, tama to, this actually right. Are there things to watch out for that when people say, oh, they're green, but they're actually not?
Okay, I love this question because it's so easy to answer. There are two things that we usually look out for when it comes to being truly clean, right? One is the packaging. So when the product or the brand or the company claims that they are all about sustainability, being very clean and all about the planet, but the packaging is non-biodegradable, that's questionable, right?
Yeah,
It's like,
absolutely.
okay, so after every user uses that, it ends up where, right?
Yeah.
So that's one. And then second is, we love biotech because exactly that. You don't need to harvest all the lato in Tacloban and Bohol because one of our primary actives is green caviar, which is lato, if you like the salad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a very good anti-inflammatory. And that's the active of our our oily line. So you don't have to harvest all of it, you know, but you just need some of it, and it's processed in biotech labs, and yeah.
So for our viewers, because I'm so interested now in clean beauty, for our viewers and for us, how can you give us some tips on how we can start switching to clean beauty? Do you recommend switching fully or slowly? Because sometimes our skin, right? Like you
Yeah.
mentioned earlier, it
Yeah.
might break us out because it might get shocked. Like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
what's this?
And it also depends per person,
And
how
yeah,
the
per
skin
person
reacts
too.
to products.
That's true.
right?
That's
Yeah.
true. That's true. And so the way we deal and the way we solve skincare issues at Pure Culture is very targeted to the individual. Everyone can visit purecultureph.com. There's a take the skin quiz button there, and you guys are free to take that. And then it will ask you questions like, what are your allergy triggers, the ones you know of, your exercise preference, your diet preference, your age range, and everything else. And then it will show you which products you can start with. So I think that's a very practical first step
Yeah.
because you don't have to spend a lot, you don't have to clear your vanity of everything else,
Yeah.
but just, start somewhere.
Slowly but surely.
Yeah.
Before we let you go, Stephanie, are there any skincare hacks that you can share with us this morning?
Okay, at Pure Culture, we're all about rewilding the microbiome. We believe that the more microbes you have, the healthier biome you can keep, and the better glow you get from within, really. But the first step really is not skincare, it's working out. So the more you sweat out, the more you detoxify your body.
Good thing I've
that's
been
the top
working
hack.
out.
Yeah. And then your diet is something you should look out for.
Yes.
Ideally, the first thing you take in the morning would be warm water, and just to warm it up. And then if you can have fiber. So when that thing that you ingest gets down to your stomach, your microbes in your gut are happy because they're dealing with so much fiber, which they love.
Okay.
And there's what we call the gut-brain-skin axis of the microbiome, right? So it's at the frontier of medical science today, right? And yeah, so your workout, don't forget to work out. Your diet, if you can have as much fiber as you can in a day, that'll be great. And yeah, skincare, step by step, you know, not anything like huge or super major, but start reading the labels.
Yeah.
Yes.
When you mentioned workout, the camera zoomed in on me. Direct? Sabi mo? Ha? Just saying. But all joking.
Everybody's targeting Paolo.
All joking
today.
aside, again, that is of Your Culture co-founder and CEO, Stephanie Oller. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Really appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. I hope you guys can visit us this weekend in Paraplant in Artefino. And you get to meet the team and you get started with your clean journey. We're very excited for you.
I'm going to be there.
I always go to
I'll be there. Okay, I'll see you there.
I'll see you there. I'll see you guys.
Well, we got more stories for you after the break. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching It's a Beautiful Day. This is Weather HQ. Let's take a look at some of the global weather, where Australia's east coast is on high alert. The tropical cyclone Alfred heads towards Brisbane, the country's third largest city, on Wednesday, March 5. Authorities have warned that thousands of properties are at risk from strong winds and flash flooding. The storm, which could bring destructive wind gusts reaching up to 155 kilometers per hour, is expected to hit the coast as a Category 2 cyclone on Friday morning near Brisbane, according to Australia's Weather Bureau. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese urged residents to take the storm seriously, calling it a, quote, rare event. He said that the government is addressing it, and Queenslanders, along with those on the north coast of New South Wales, need to do the same. Cyclones rated as a Category 2 on a 5-level scale are considered significant, but not the most severe. Authorities warn that they can still cause significant damage, uprooting trees, damaging caravans, and unmooring boats. At a remote space center in northern Finland, closer to the Russian border, scientists are gaining unprecedented insights into the impact of climate change on the Arctic. The Arctic Center in Sodankyla, led by Jairi Hailimo, is using satellite technology to monitor the region with more precision than anywhere else in Europe. He explains that combining ground measurements and satellite data has helped track the decline in snow cover and the uneven distribution of snow in the northern hemisphere. The center is crucial for understanding the Arctic's rapid warming, which has occurred at nearly 4 times the global rate since 1979. Simonetta Celli of the European Space Agency said that countries like Finland are becoming more important for validating satellite data on the ground, highlighting the strategic importance and role of the Finnish research station in the context of global climate monitoring. Indonesian authorities have begun cloud seeding to mitigate heavy rainfall and prevent further flooding in Jakarta and surrounding cities. The floods, which started on Monday, have already caused 1 death and displaced over 2,200 people. Torrential rain overflowed rivers, submerging homes and pushing water levels up to 3 meters. Cloud seeding efforts aim to reduce rainfall intensity by redirecting or reducing smaller clouds to lessen the impact on flood-hit areas. The operation will continue until Saturday, which focuses on mountainous regions in West Java to prevent excessive rain from flowing into Jakarta. That's it for Weather HQ. Back to you, girls.
Thank you so much, Pao. Now, what do the stars have in store for you guys today? Let's go find out from our resident energizer and feng shui master, Hans Kua, in our horoscope of the day. Take it away, Master Hans.
with me, Master Hans Kua. Ito po ang horoscope for Thursday, March 6. Para sa mga pinanganak ng Year of the Rat, ang tamang budget plan ay magbibigay ng stability. Purple at 4. Sa Ox naman tayo, mag-focus sa masayang moments kasama ang sweetheart mo. Pink at 7. Kay Tiger naman tayo, iwasan ang overspending para mapanatili ang financial security. Green at 8. Kay Rabbit naman, mag-relax para ma-recharge ang iyong katawan at isip. Orange at 6. Kay Dragon naman tayo, mag-focus sa personal development upang mag-level up. Red at 9. Kay Snake naman tayo, kumain ng tama sa oras upang maiwasan ang sakit. Yellow at 3. Ito naman, Care of the Horsey. Ang sipag mo ay magdadala ng magandang feedback. Purple at 5. Kay Ship naman, paratilihin ang active lifestyle para sa better performance. Pink at 1. Kay Monkey naman, ang magandang araw para mag-strategize para sa mga future project. Green at 2. Kay Rooster naman, ang simpleng effort ay magpapakita ng sincerity mo. Yellow at 7. Kay Dog naman tayo, mag-focus sa trabaho ay magbibigay na magandang good result yan. Orange at 4. Kay Year of the Pig naman tayo, gamitin ang feedback bilang motivation. Red at 8. Ako po, si Master Hans Kua. Paalala lang ha, ito po ay patnubay lamang. Ang tunay na swerte ay nagsisimula sa pagiging totoo. Abangan ang horoscope of the day dito lang po sa It's a Beautiful Day!
Thank you, Master Hans Kua.
After the break, some might say age doesn't matter, but compatibility sure does. Dating Coach V gives us a real talk about age gap relationships. You don't want to miss this. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back. Hello, welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. Now today on Love Hacks, we put on the spotlight one of the modern dating hot topics, age gap. Here's dating coach V Antonio to talk more about it. Take it away, Coach V.
Naniniwala ba kayo na age doesn't matter? Is a huge age gap a deal breaker? Ano nga ba ang ideal age gap? These age gap relationships, sometimes they call it May-December romances, are when one partner is markedly older than the other. The bigger the gap, the more people notice and judge. But is there really an ideal age gap in love? Good morning, loves. It's beautiful day. Coach V here, bringing you another round of real talk about real love. Welcome to Love Hacks. Today, we are exposing the truth about age gap relationships. Are they built to last or just temporary infatuation lang? And what does science say about why women tend to prefer older men and men prefer younger women? Plus, a new trend. Why more women are now dating younger men? Let's break it down, loves. Did you know that 50% of Filipinos say they've dated someone at least 10 years older or younger than them? As the gap widens, so does the risk of separation. Did you know, loves, that if you have a 10-year gap, 39% or higher yung breakup rate nyo? But look at this, if you have a 20-year gap, the higher of breakup goes higher, up to 95%. Why? Differences in values, life stages, and priorities make long-term success harder. The ideal age gap, studies show that 3 to 5 years is the sweet spot for long-term happiness. Ano kaya mga age gap ng mga relationships ng ating host in a bit? We'll ask them in a bit, tsaka si Kuya. Now, because evolution plays a role, this is the reason, mga loves. Ancestrally, women benefited from choosing men who had status and resources to provide for a family. Meanwhile naman, men evolved to prefer younger women because it signals youth and fertility. This explains why most women prefer marrying slightly older men, thinking that they have more resources, and why men tend to seek younger partners because they have that youthful vibe. Oddly enough, in the youngest couples, the woman is sometimes older. A complete reverse naman of the classic age gap trend. But in bigger age gaps, the pattern remains: older man, younger woman. Why are more women naman dating younger men? That's actually something surprising that's happening right now, loves. Let's talk about this new trend. It's not just about the looks now. It's about the energy, the adventure, breaking outdated gender roles. Older women today are more financially independent, more confident, less pressured to settle down. Studies show nga that women who date younger men feel more empowered. Why? Because there's less emotional baggage from past failed relationship. And with younger men, they tend to be more open-minded and less controlling. The relationship feels fresh, exciting, and drama-free. Now, let's talk about the truth about age gap relationships. Ano ba talaga? Is it really love or may motibo? Real love if you share same values, not just chemistry. If the connection is built on deep conversation, tapos you have mutual goals and respect, then age is just a number. Kasi there's balance in the relationship. No one should feel like piniparent ka or lagi kang mini-mentor. Because a relationship should be a partnership and not just a classroom set. It's not about money or lifestyle. If you're still happy together, even without the luxury gifts and vacation, then totoo yun. You see a future beyond the thrill. So, my question for you, love, ask yourself, can I see myself growing old with this person? If the answer is yes, then it's love. It's a motive naman in disguise. If, nako eto, malalaman natin, if it's not real love, it feels more like a transaction than a relationship. If every date ends with, babe, pa-Gcash naman. You already know, there's a power imbalance. Huh? If one partner always has control because of money, age, or experience, that's not love. It's control. They're too focused on what people think. Now, if you always feel the need naman to defend your relationship, diba? Especially when people go to you, talking to you about your age gap, ask yourself, am I proving my love talaga or am I just convincing myself na this is real? It feels like a short-term thrill, not a long-term commitment. If attraction is purely physical or based on financial comfort, the spark won't last. So, let's do some demo here.
May demo!
My fellow,
Demo?
yes, a little bit.
Paano na-demo yung age gap?
We'll take a look. I think you have something to ask me, Pao.
I do. Okay, kasi I don't have a copy of the script. Let's go. All right.
There you go.
But how do you know if an age gap relationship is real love or just a phase? Kasi minsan, some people say that your marriage is supposed to be about the marriage contract, not about the retirement plan.
Yeah.
And, when you take a look at that.
Right. So especially right now, there are so many marriages, not only like ordinary people, even like celebrities and political age gap. Big age gap is becoming the norm. But you will know if it's really for love, if you are attracted to them genuinely.
Yeah.
Not because of just the status, not because of just the yacht or the lifestyle. No? So do you still want to be with them kahit istrip mo sila dun sa lifestyle nila? So that's one way to tell. Monique, do you have a question for me?
Yes,
Anne?
Coach V. So if, for example, I met this guy and he's already broke and wrinkled.
Wow. Nice.
Baka may Velcro wallet din.
Ay, oo. Velcro wallet.
Okay, yeah.
Broke and wrinkled pero mapagmahal. Would I still say yes?
Oh, interesting. Because of course, with age gap, nakita nga natin kanina, with age gap, the higher the chance na break up. Pero kasi, there are so many reasons why sometimes women go for older men. And some of that reason, it goes back to their childhood. Kasi baka naghanap ng father figure.
Yeah.
So it's possible to fall in
that's
love with
true.
older men. As long as it goes back to the question a while ago, pag nawalan ba ng resources yan, mahal mo pa? Kapag Velcro ang kanyang wallet, mamahalin mo pa ba siya?
I have a story about that.
That's when she knew Alvin was the one.
Yeah, that's actually how
diba?
I.
Can you share a little bit when you said na you don't? Yeah.
Okay, so I have this ick
When you
that
know it's
Paolo
love.
talked about this morning, just so our viewers would understand.
The
When I was
context.
still, dating, pag naglabas na ng wallet yung guy to pay for the bill, because that was our topic yesterday, pag Velcro yung wallet, I get turned off.
Look at all the camera guys. They're
There's
all
no
look
more
at
follow-up.
Anne.
I really don't like Velcro wallets just because for me, pa hindi ko siya type. Alam mo yun, parang it's just not cool.
Alright.
It does not mean anything else.
And then your husband
And then my
shows up.
husband, when we were dating pa lang, on our first date, nung magbabayad na siya, he took out his wallet.
Hulaan
and it
niyo
was
kung
a
anong wallet.
Velcro wallet.
Velcro wallet.
And for some
Na
reason,
may
it
tatak
was...
ng brand.
I didn't get turned off by it. So that's when I knew na, oh my God, I really like this guy.
Yes, and that's when she knows it's true love. Kasi kahit Velcro yung wallet niya, na in love pa din siya. That's an indicator that it's love and it's not just a motive in disguise. Now let's talk about how to make the age gap relationship work for those who are in a relationship with somebody na medyo may age difference. If you're in an age gap relationship and you want it to last, don't worry. There are tips and hacks for that. Number one is just find common ground beyond age. If all you have in common kasi is the age gap, you're in trouble. Keep the power dynamic in check. A relationship should be equal. No sugar parent or sugar daddy and mommy. No financial contract. Prepare for social judgment because, of course, people will always be curious. What's up? What kind of transactional or romance is that? People will talk, but if you're solid together, their opinions won't matter. Have a real conversation about the future. A 20-year age gap means different life stages ahead, di ba? Imagine you were born in almost 2 different generations. Are you both ready for that? The wider the age gap, the lower the chances it's real love. But if a relationship is built on status, or it's not built on status, money, or physical attraction, then it has a chance of surviving. But if it's rooted also in respect, trust, and shared values, then age becomes irrelevant too. Remember, loves, if you constantly have to defend your relationship and ask yourself why, are you proving your love? Or baka naman you're just convincing yourself that it's real? What's your take on age gap relationships, loves? Would you date somebody much older or much younger than you? Is it a deal breaker for you? Let's continue the conversation on Bilyonaryo News, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Again, this is Coach V giving you real talk about real love. Join me again next week on It's a Beautiful Day. Love you.
Age gaps. I mean, Mo, she was making a face kanina when you were talking about...
I wasn't.
Yes, you were. You don't see your face. We saw it.
With Paolo again. I was like, I don't know why he's making stuff up.
No, you don't see your own face, but we do. But,
Which part? I see my face. I'm all over the monitors.
No, she was. I saw the reaction there when you're talking about that the age gap doesn't really matter if all of
But
the...
have you dated someone who's
What's
older
the
or
maximum?
younger?
Yeah, what's the maximum you would go?
I dated somebody younger that was 5 years younger than me.
5 years.
Not so bad.
That's not so
Not
bad.
bad, but like you mentioned, we were at different stages, we had different priorities, so it didn't work out. And we were also way too young, I feel like, so it was just like an infatuation thing, whereas when you're older and you, like you said, you talk about your priorities and all that, then I think it would be a different situation.
I'm always curious about women who date younger. What attracted you to the younger man? Because usually, diba, you are attracted to older.
I don't know, he went for me.
Oh, he went for you. You just respond.
Yeah, I just respond.
Okay, all right.
I don't think Mo chases. Anne chases.
I never chase.
Yeah.
No shame in
Like,
it.
you know how Drake says, I don't chase girls, they run a mile for me. Yeah, guys run a mile for me. I will never.
Love it. Okay. And how about you?
Noted.
Maximum younger or older age?
My husband is a year older than me, but I'm actually open to seeing older men, but not now.
Yeah, in the past.
Not
In the
anymore.
past.
In the past. Pero when I was
You gotta be careful.
Yeah, no, but when I was not yet married, you know,
Okay,
okay lang
yes.
sa akin yung big age gap.
Like how
I probably
big?
draw the line
10, 15?
at
15?
20 years.
Oh, that's big.
20
That's
years.
big, ah.
I don't mind.
But have you
I know,
dated
I said
someone
that's
20 years
big.
older?
It's big.
No, but if it happened to me,
Hypothetically.
I'd be okay.
You'd be
Hypothetically,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm fine with
age
that
gap?
age gap.
No, mine was all my rule of thumb was 5 years younger, 5 years
So
older.
same tayo, yeah.
Fine,
Yeah,
okay.
but at that time when I said that, I think I was like in my mid 20s or early 30s. Well, I still am in my early 30s, but you
So,
take a look at that. So
If you're single now, would you date older women?
I wouldn't be against it because at the end of the day, at least sa simula it's about how young you look from a face value, surface value,
And
not
how
necessarily
youthful
how
the
old.
vibe is,
Yeah, sa
probably,
simula.
right?
Yeah,
Or if
but
you
syempre,
vibe,
it changes
yeah,
as you get to
yeah.
know them. You know, it
That's
becomes
true.
a deeper connection, syempre,
Right.
and you figure out whether or not things could work. And I
Right.
think that's the important part of it.
Okay, so by the end of the day, age doesn't really matter.
Yes.
It's how
Yes.
they connect with you.
How about you,
It's a
Coach V?
connection.
What's an okay age group for you?
Excuse me.
For me, I'm kind of similar to you. I'm okay with up
You
to
draw
20
the line
years
at 20,
older,
yeah.
but I would not date younger. That's just my
Interesting.
personal opinion. Yes. I have daddy
Okay.
issues eh.
Oh.
No, just joking. Just joking.
All right,
But
Coach V, we really appreciate you. We'll have you again next week.
Thank you.
And we are going to have more conversations about this off the air. And
I
hopefully you
love
can join
having
us as
love
well.
hacks.
Comment on social media and do share it and let us know your thoughts. That's it for us this Thursday, March 6th. Ako po si Paolo del Rosario. Thank you very much for joining us here on It's a Beautiful Day.
I'm Anne Asis-Carilo. Thank you for making us your daily morning habit. And wherever this day takes you, don't forget to choose joy, spread kindness, and pack your own sunshine.
Need tissue mo?
I got allergies. Sorry. And I'm Monique Tuzon. I hope you guys have a great Thursday ahead. Don't forget to join us again tomorrow. It's finally Friday tomorrow, 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. only here on
It's a Beautiful Day.